What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode with YCS Charlotte now in the record books. One question remains the same, and that is this: what can we expect from YCS Hartford? Now, you guys may notice that I said Hartford and did not say but go to Colombia or Guadalajara, Mexico. That is because I am not going to be talking about those because I know that that from what I know, they have like their own like tournament system. I believe. I don't know if it's the same here, but I believe they are different. But YCS Hartford will be taking place on the weekend of May 28th, and it will end on the 29th. And YCS Charlotte had quite the interesting field, to say the very least, as the tournament was won by none other than Elijah Green, who ran a Adventurer Prank Kids, and the deck, I'm looking at it here. There's no words to describe how crazy this is. This is like insane. Like, there's no other way to describe it except that it's crazy. So his deck list features a single copy of Celestial and Dasher, 3 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, 3 Prank Kids Dropsies, Fancies, Lampsies, Roxy's, Wandering Griffin Rider, and 3 copies of Water Enchantress of the Temple. And his tuner monsters, or his hand traps for that matter, Triple Ash and Triple Ghost Ogre. And then, of course, for his spells, he was running Dracobag the Rideable Dragon, Faithful Adventurer, Foolish Burial, Triple Droplet, Forbidden Droplet, Double Fusion Destiny, Prank Kids Pandemonium, Double Prank Kids Place, 1 Prank Kids Pranks, and 3 Rite of Armesier. And then of course 2 copies of Imperm. And then for his extra deck, he was running DPE, 2 Butler, 1 Rocket Ride, 1 Weather Washer, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Access Code, 2 Link Spider, 1 Bow Wow Bark, 2 copies of Dodo Doodle Doo. Yes, I actually said that. 1 copy of Meow Meow Moo, and 2 Verde Anaconda. And his side deck had triple Drone Lockbird, 1 Super Poly, 3 Token Collector, Triple Judgment, 3 Super Poly, and 3 Twin Twister, which was quite the interesting deck. Now, I will admit, now I don't know how the fuck he was able to make it work, because Prank Kids, it was better. Was better off as a pure build, so to speak, but that's just my personal opinion. But some of the different decks that we saw in the tournament, we saw, Adventure Prank Kids, Adventure Synchro, Flowunderies, Sourceful Tenny, Cypress Eldritch, which was an interesting build. Pure Eldritch, Despia, Dogmatica Shadal, Dragon Link, which there's no point in running Dragon Links. There's no point in Dragon Links with Eclipse Wyvern Band, with the Black Dragon and the White Dragon, limit to 1, and with most of the guard dragons being limited or banned, the deck is just is done. There's no point in running it. There's really no point. Invoke Dogmatica, Sky Striker, those are just some of the decks that made it to the top 16, or actually rather the top 32. The top 16 featured six prank kid, six adventure prank kids, two flow wonderies, pure Eldritch and Sword Soul Tenny, and then for the one decks only, adventure synchro, Cyber's Eldritch, Despia, and Invoked Dogmatica. If you guys are wondering about the runner up, which is obviously second place, was Jerome Adams, who ran pure Eldritch, and he was only his deck featured two Eldritch the Golden Lord and three Lord of the Heavenly Prison. His spells were two Curse Ellen, one Elixir of White Destiny, and three Pot of Extravagance. And his traps, there were quite a few of them. Two Anti-Spell, three Conquistador, three Dogmatic Punishment, three Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, one Golden Land Forever, two Gozen Match, two Haquero of the Golden Land, three Ash Dragon's Prison, three Skill Drain, three Solemn Strike, three Tikenbu, and of course double Torrential Tribute. And his extra deck was pretty crazy. His fusions consisted of Invoked Macabre and Elder Entity Ents. And of course, his synchro monster, the only one, was the Cyphering Lord Omega, as a way to bring back his cards into his graveyard. That way he would be able to use those effects again, which I don't blame him for using them. His Xyz monsters feature double Pleiades, one Nova, one Zeus, double Gustav Max, and two Juggernaut Libe. I don't get why the Nova. I honestly don't. But you would literally have to run Cyber Infinity in order for you to go into the Zeus, because with Infinity it gains materials, once per turn, and you're able to just easily go into Zeus with the amount of materials that it may have, which would be a pretty cool combo. And then of course, the Link monsters, he had the one Phoenix and the one Link Spider, and his side deck featured two Ash Blossom, two Drone Lockbird, three Lava Golem, three Raw Sphere Mode, two Judgment, and two Dimensional Barrier, which was kind of an interesting one. Third place ended up being Enzo Fialos, I probably butchered that, running Cyber's Eldritch, which featured cards like Scythe, Cyber's Gadget, Artifact Scythe, Dotscaper, Firewall Guardian, Eldritch, Magician's Souls, which is kind of a stupid tech. But you might as well just call it Adventure Eldritch instead of Cyber's Eldritch, because it was running Water Enchantress of the Temple, as well as pretty much all of the adventure cards that were in the archetype, such as Dragobag and Right and Faithful. You might as well just call it that. And then his side deck, had featured cards like Lancia, Crossout, Droplet, Twin Twister, Ghost Bell, which actually is really good in a deck like this, because it can stop effects that are being activated in the graveyard, going up against a sort of a mirror match. Could be quite the interesting matchup, to say the very least. But fourth place ended up being Ryan Fletcher, who ran Flow Wonderies, and he was running Barry Statue of the Stormwind, which made no sense at all, because Stormwind is a wind attribute. He would have to run the water one. I think it was a Barry Statue of the Torrent, I believe. He would have to run that instead, but I think he was only running this because he was running Rise of the Mega Monarch, which is actually a really interesting card, but it's actually pretty decent. I'm gonna look it up on Nexus. I don't remember what this card did. So give me 1 second, guys. I need to... go to a random deck. I'll pick my Battling Boxer, which I do need to update at some point. So let's see here. Grandmark, Mobius, the Stalos, Zabor, Kai's. Here we are. Rise of the Mega Monarch, 8-star Wind Wing Beast. 2800 attack, 1000 defense. You contribute this card by tributing one tribute summoned monster. If this card is tributed, it should be summoned. Target a card on the field and a card in either player's grave. Also, if this card was tribute summoned by you by tributing a wind monster, you can target an additional card on the field. Place the first target on top of the deck in any order. The first target's on top of the deck in any order. Also, after that, return the additional target, if any, to the hand. So with this one, not only is this a sort of like a back to square one, but it's also a compulse, which is actually that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I must admit, but I have to admit this deck is actually kind of interesting. It's actually kind of interesting. Well, let's see what kind of deck this dude was playing. So we have a Stormwind, 3-dimensional shifter, 3 Floowandereeze, and Elgin, 2 Empin, 3 Robina, 1 Stry, 1 Tokan, 1 Avion, 1 Apex Avion, and a Rise of the Mega Monarch. His extra deck featured Elder Entity Ents, Invoke Makaba, Cypher Little Omega, Cyber Dragon Nova, Zeus, Downer Magician, 2 Assembled Nightingale, 1 Gustav Max, and a Juggernaut Libe. And his Link monsters, he had the BLS Link, Nightmare Phoenix, Relinquished Animal, and Tri-Brigade Shurag, the Ominous Omen. Spells and Traps, 2 Book of Moon, 1 Callby, Triple Dark Rule No More, 3 Floowandereeze, and the Advent of Adventure, 3 Magnificent Map, 1 Unexplored Wind, a Mystic Mine, which is kind of a stupid tech, Triple Duality, and Triple Prosperity, and a Terraforming. And then for the traps, Harvey's Featherstorm, and Floowandereeze, and the Dreaming Town. Side deck featured a single copy of DD Crow, which made no sense at all, a Harvey's Feather Duster, Triple Lightning Storm, the other 2 Mystic Mines, the Ciphering Gear package, the Driver, and the Gamma, and 2 copies of Trap Trick. So I have to admit, these decks are actually pretty cool, but the question becomes, what can we expect from YCS Hartford? I'm assuming that we'll probably end up seeing these decks again at some point in some capacity. One of the big decks that I fear could be a massive threat to the meta is definitely the new Terra Laments archetype that I had talked about on the or actually I would say Terra Laments, but that's not until August. So we might see that archetype, we might see something else, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say because with YCS Charlotte now in the record books, and we move on going into the next 3 up and coming events, such as Guadalajara, which is actually going to be tomorrow, and I would say Bogota, but Bogota is already passed. So as far as like what we can expect from Guadalajara, I would probably say the same as YCS Charlotte. But as far as YCS Hartford, that's a hard one. That's a hard one to discuss because with Ghosts from the Past coming out next week, and with a couple other things coming up as well, such as Power of the Elements and whatnot, coming out, I'm assuming that we might see, we can even also see Neos, or rather Heroes, come back with the new Neo support that we got, with the additions of, hang on guys, let me go back on the Nexus, because it just logged out. With the additions of cards like Invert Contact and whatnot. Actually, let me look those up on Instagram, because for some reason Nexus decided to take them off for some stupid ass fucking reason. So I need to find the deck on my Instagram, because I know I posted it. It was right before WrestleMania weekend, and it's right here. So with cards like Invert Contact, which actually is a really good card. Or rather, Instant Contact. Actually, my bad. With Instant Contact, in the as sort of like the instant fusion to for the Neos deck, it just works. It just works. I have to admit, sorry guys, I'm like losing track right now. Anyway, with YCS Hartford coming up, we might see heroes come back. I'm assuming we will probably see some of these other decks come back, come back into that format as well. But as we draw closer and closer to Hartford, I think the one thing that we can expect to see is definitely Adventurer being one of the top, the top tier meta decks going into Hartford, unless if the next ban list comes and we end up getting something really stupid, like the entire package gets banned or something like that. In which case people are going to realize how degenerate the deck is, and they're going to realize it's just too broken. But I'm not going to talk any further about this subject, because I don't really know. Honestly, it's so hard to predict what we can expect in this that format. But that brings me to the question of the day: what decks do you guys want to see in YCS Hartford? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Friday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links will be in the description below. And as always, if you guys want to send fan mail and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.